a choice right now, between fear and love. It's just a rock.
Out of the dark night of ignorance and into the shining light of truth.
Expanding reality.
A population of citizens capable of critical thinking.
We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are.
There's a level of reality where everything dissolves into an ocean of energy.
We empower our experience by insisting on our authenticity.
That's very profound. Very.
Expanding reality. Okay, now, Brandon, my good friend, host of Expanding Reality. This has been a long time coming, and with this show drawing to a close, I've been given the honour of finding out a bit more about the man behind the myth. Because yours, I remember talking to you saying, I really like the way your style of show and the way that you always let the guests talk so much, and you're such a great listener. You don't talk too much about yourself, and so I think this came up, and maybe the idea of interviewing you just to find out a bit more about you, about Brandon, your story, which I'm sure on behalf of everybody listening, we'd all like to know a bit more about, because it's as I say, it's not something you talk too much about, but I know there's an also amazing story, an origin story there. So yeah, I'd like to just start at the beginning, from home, home, family, where you grew up, and just go from there, man.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going to start by saying thank you so much, Paul Clifford. All the ways to find him located down below. Asher Mysyk, all the ways to find him. The email link down below. He is our creative expansion artist who is working on some really cool stuff. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute. I just want to thank both of you gentlemen for joining me for this monumental episode here. This is very, very cool. A lot going on. And I want to thank all of you listening and watching for being here for all of it, this and all of it. This is a lot of changes happening, guys, and all of it very exciting, and can't wait to talk to y'all about this. But for now, Paul Clifford wants to interview me for my last show, one of the last shows on Expanding Reality. And again, we will talk about that more later. But for that, I'm grateful. And Paul, you're a dear friend. I'm going to answer your question, and then we're going to talk about you as well, because I would like for you to share with the folks out there how you and I know each other and how special you are to me. So what we will do is I will answer your question, sir, from the beginning here. Born and raised in a small town in North Texas. Now, if you look this place up now, it's called Keller, Texas. Okay. And if you look at them now, it's pretty posh, I guess is like the thing. It's like grown up a lot. And it was growing up a lot when we left quite a while ago. And from there, I was raised in a very small town atmosphere. I knew nothing about drugs and alcohol other than just that my dad drank beer with his buddies in soccer. We played sports. We were very two-dimensional, I would say. Went to the church all the time. Was raised in Southern Baptist Church with my mom and dad being incredibly active. There was, sometimes 5 nights a week we'd be there, right, doing stuff or whatever. So very active in church, very sports-focused, great family environment. Everything was awesome. Moved to Houston, Texas, going into my junior year. So halfway through my high school career, I pick up and leave that, sheltered environment, for lack of a better term, and then moved down to Houston, Texas, which was a dramatic difference for scope. The graduating class predicted in that small town Keller in 2001 was like 60 something students. And when I moved to Houston, it was 1,000 something students. And it was just wild. The culture shock was incredible. I very quickly found out what drugs and alcohol were, and began to form a personal relationship with cannabis, which was very exciting. And that wasn't even until after a year when I'd been there. Again, never even knew what weed was. I didn't get all the weed jokes on TV when they were told, and the stoner movies. I didn't get Cheech and Chong and stuff like that. And then got introduced to cannabis in Houston by a buddy I met when I moved down there. And I don't know about all these people saying that they don't get high the first time. I got extremely high the first time. Cannabis and I met like old friends, and we were like, hey, it's so good to see you. And I remember there being a dog there, and they let it out, and I was on the ground just laughing my ass off. And this like solidified this beautiful relationship with this incredible ally that has really done me well. And I would like to say that I serve her well as well. Now, in this
What age would you
process,
have been about? Sorry, man.
no, it's okay. So 18. So when I moved down there, I'm one of these late babies. So my birth anniversary is in September. So what my mom did, instead of going early, she held me back a year. Instead of me being like the young kid in class, I was just the older, a little bit more mature one, whatever. And that had its, benefits and drawbacks. But one of the benefits was I was driving, I was operating an automobile before anybody else in my school, right? So,
That's high status.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, as like a sophomore, I had my license. So very cool times and just nice and easy. Houston, though, was a massive shock. It was 18. And then a lot happened in there. So I'll pause if you got any questions for before there and see if you got anything before we continue. It's good to see you, by the way, Paul. You look great.
Likewise, man. Look fantastic.
I just love this. This is so much fun. Okay.
Did you? I wanted to talk to you also about your musical career. When did you first pick up a guitar, or was that in that period? Or
it was, yeah. So I picked up a guitar at age 15. I found there was this tiny little music shop in North Texas, Musician's Friend, but it wasn't like the big Musician's Friend chain. It was small. It was very, very tiny, and they had these little leather pick holders, which were very significant. And that would come into play later. And so I get this tiny little, I don't honestly even remember what it was, but it was tiny. It was like an SG, but it was a way SG knockoff. It was like $80. I named it Ursula and wrote Ursula and Sharpie on the side of it. I put all these stickers on it, and I'm 15. I didn't, know shit. My big thing too was my folks being in the church, they didn't like the music that I was drawn to, like your Offspring and your Metallicas and things like this. So when I learned how to play guitar, what I did was I'm self-taught. I haven't taken any lessons for it. What I would do, though, is take my little boombox radio. You remember the kind with the cassette player in it. And I would take that and run the cable into my closet at the house and then play at very low volume. And then I would keep my guitar in there. And every time I heard a song that I liked on a radio station, I was playing extremely quiet so that my mom wouldn't hear. Then I would pick up the guitar and run in there and do my best to figure it out as best as possible. So I learned by ear, and I would just listen to the radio and play it. Now, to that, I taught myself, look, just keep it in tune all the time and you'll sound like them. You'll be able to hit the same notes and they'll be the same the whole time. So that's something I just trained into myself. Tune the guitar every single time you pick it up. And that's a wonderful piece of advice for anybody and a great habit that I've got. When you pick it up, tune it every single time. And so, yes, I just taught myself by ear, learning Metallica solos and Offspring and Alice in Chains and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and didn't really get out and do stuff with it until Houston. Played in a talent show. We played 2 songs. What was it? Papa Roach, the song. And then Blink-182, the popular one at the time in the late 90s. So we played those 2 songs at a talent show. It was a group that we had called Morning Wood. And yes, I did make that name up. The graphic for it was even better. I'll show it to you. It's very symmetrical and imposing. And it was a lot of fun. And then I ended up, there was a friend back in Keller before I moved to Houston who rode motorcycles, right? He rode dirt bikes more specifically. He was young. He was my age. And he was sponsored. This dude had bikes built by the mechanic of the top racer at the time. And then I got really into dirt bikes, right? I had this old 79 Yamaha DT 100. It was a tiny little enduro. The gas can was metal, and it was all rusted out on the inside because it was this really shitty thing that we got when we got it. And so I sat there as a child ready to ride this motorcycle, right? And I had these nuts and bolts and warm soapy water inside of this gas can, and I just shook it for hours every night out on the driveway. And what you do is you knock all the rust loose on the inside, and then you need to pour a coating inside of it and coat the whole thing, right? And then let that sit and cure. And then you can run petrol, as you would say, through it and then go have some fun. So it was even a process just to get on a bike. But as my friend showed me the dirt bike world and I fell in love with 2 wheels, he would also show me these dirt bike videos, which tied into music pretty closely because the dirt bike videos had punk music on it. Have you ever seen like Crusty Demons of Dirt or any of those dirt bike videos? Do you know what I'm talking about? They were these extreme sports, specifically dirt bike videos back in the 90s, early 2000s. And they were awesome, man. But the soundtracks to those things, that's where I heard about NoFX and Strung Out and Pennywise and all of that. And so I fell in love with punk music. And then from punk music, I got this rebellious attitude, this like, fuck you, dad kind of thing going on, right? And then that's where really I would say, and then, but with that leading me into moving to Houston. So I had that under my belt when I moved, sort of this starting to play guitar quietly, love of punk music and two wheels and freedom and all this kind of stuff, right? It started to pull me from this little sheltered environment that was wonderful, honestly. There was no reason to feel like it wasn't going to work out. I have two brothers who followed the plan and they're doing great. One of them's got kids. They've both got houses and cars and all the things, right? They went to college. They did the thing. They followed the prescription and did it right. I, frosted it and took the path less traveled by, and it has made all the difference, man. There's been a just fascinating way that life turned out, and it was the long road for a long time. And there were times when it didn't look like it was going to be so cool, and it wasn't fucking cool, man. But it was always true, and it was always real. It's always where I was, right? So,
Yeah.
Now, punk music led me to sort of my oppositional defiance is what it's called in psychology. It's called oppositional defiance disorder, but I think the disorder is a little incendiary and also fucking wrong. So oppositional defiance sounds great. Not only does it sound like a punk band, right? But also it rings true. And what that just means to me is that you ask questions, that the official narrative is not all that there is, and that only two doors are not the only doors. Look around. There's always a third door, right? Those kind of concepts of black and white do not do it for me, kind of a thing. Like I've outgrown black and white, those kind of concepts. That's where this was really forged. And that's where the descent with the home started happening. And so as I pulled further into my rebellious spirit and wanted to experience, I had a parent at home that really was going through something very interesting in their life. Now it's probably, looking back, it's definitely probably their Pluto return that we were talking about, their midlife transits. And with the big move away from their hometown, which was huge, it was very traumatic. And then me getting more and more interested in things that they were scared of and didn't understand, then it just scared that particular parent. And then a lot of stuff happened from there. So we can pause there. If you've got any questions up to that point, hopefully the timeline's been nice. We're in senior in high school right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, that's fascinating. So you mentioned your family. You said you had two brothers. Do you have a sister as well?
No. So, well, I mean, we talk shit about each other. So depending on who in front of, they're the sister, right? We talk shit, brothers. But our deal so my mom had me when she was 17 years old, right? And what's weird about that is she's a Virgo also. Her birthday is exactly one day before mine. So she was eating birthday cake with me. Her water broke. She tried to keep me as long as possible, she says, and kept me after midnight. So just at 3:34 a.m., I was born into this place, and one day after hers. So this sort of, and it is energetically interesting and dynamic to have that link and that not only connection, but also just the birth anniversary is an interesting correlation as well, just being two Virgos in the house. And it's of two stubborn signs that it's a sign that sees everything its way is correct, right? And it's right. And then you had a boastful young 18-year-old who was just trying to figure shit out, man, and needed a little extra guidance for a parent who was going through the toughest thing that they've ever gone through, right? And then when those two worlds met, it met in an interesting way. And it started with just mild things like dropping me off down the street because it just couldn't handle the mouth, right? I was just, God, my mouth, I get it. And so it making me walk miles home, right? Just little things like that. But then it got physical. And then a notebook of mine was found, turned in. I was tricked into thinking we were all going somewhere on a trip. And we ended up going to a mental hospital and trying to get me committed. So they tricked me into going there, tried to get me committed. And because I was 18, the doctor, before they even read the notebook, which was my property, looked at me and said, "You're 18. Can I read this?" I said, "No, it wasn't meant for anybody to find. It's just words in my head I needed to get out." Yeah. And she handed it back to me and said, "Okay, well, I'm not going to read this because this is your personal property. I don't think there's anything wrong here. You look very mentally stable." Like, they talked to me. We had a whole interview. And then from there, like, it got really bad. And then it got physical to me. And then whenever I started getting hit, then it was something where I really wanted to keep it off of my brothers, right? And so I then ended up inversely acting out more and experimenting more and doing more stuff so that I made sure it was sort of like the Jurassic Park when he grabbed the flare and ran away from the kids. That's sort of the big brother thing that we had going. So let me back up to the lineage real quick because we skipped. So my mom had me and another brother with a guy that then left when the other brother was 2.5 and I was 2.5. He'd just been born. So we got born from this guy. Then my mom met another guy who had 2 kids from another relationship, right? From there, they then got together and had 1 more boy. So there were 5 total boys, but it was only 3 of us in the house. The 2 stepbrothers didn't really live with us much. But earlier on in the days, we did hang out quite a bit. Like they were there quite a bit. So yeah, but I was the middle of 5 boys or the oldest in the house, depending on what time period we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was wild.
Oh, wow. All boys. That must have been pretty wild.
All boys, man, no sisters.
Quite
yeah.
majestic.
And so again, my poor mom, right? You know,
Yeah.
it was wild, but it's a great experience, you know, because it thickens your skin up. You, you know, really get this kind of brotherhood type of camaraderie thing. You can really see where friendship and being able to depend on one another kind of bolster a really cool. You get to learn about relationships and learn how things can either fuck you over or be the best ally you've ever had, right? And that's brothers.
100%.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I've
it's
got a
interesting.
couple of others. And,
yeah, see, you know. Yeah. Any sisters?
The closest are 2 sisters as well, actually. So, yeah. But yeah.
And where are you in that lineage?
I'm the eldest. So,
okay.
Yeah. So again, from another young mother who didn't cope so well with having with life.
And you know, and then how was her life? How was her brought up? Because this gave me a lot of reflection with lineage, you know, and how did we get here? Where did we come from? Kind of a thing. And I've got to say, you know, before we continue, I suppose that my parents and I get along phenomenally now. I've completely forgiven that parent, and it was decades ago, guys, that I forgave this parent because it's got nothing to do. It was honestly the catalyst. I appreciate it more than I could ever explain because I really do see this realm differently. And you and I are going to get into some stuff in the afterthought here. We have somebody else joining us for that, and we'll get into some deep stuff about philosophy and things like that of where I am now. Because again, guys, I haven't talked to y'all in 6 months, man. I haven't done or put out an episode in a while. This is the first thing I've recorded in 6 months for this thing, and there's a lot of reason for that. I know we're not sandbagging it, and if you want, skip to the end of the episode and come back. Shit, go get the news and come back. But this is how Paul wanted to do it, so this is how we're doing it. So, and I love it, by the way. This is how we wanted to do it, so this is how we're doing it. So, we have, like I said, completely, I don't want to say made up because there was nothing to make up over. I realized that the way that was being alchemized was the best way that parent knew how to do it with the information they had at the time. And honestly, they did tremendous, honestly. And then from there, it was me looking back and going, well, what made that? Like, what made that happen? How was that created, right? Because hurt people. And it's just that simple, man. And if we can be big enough to look back and go, oh my God, well, look at what happened to your grandmother. My grandmother had a fucking rocket of a ride in her life. And that then translated to my mom. And then that then translated to me, right? And then, you know, we then can responsibly look at this place and go, okay, well, then I will honorably take on that monicum of it happened in my family until it happened to me. And it took me a while to get there. And it took, though, being immersed in it to be able to see it, to then get out of it, and then to turn around and go, Mom, we don't, have to do this. Dad, we don't have to do this. Like, brothers, there's better ways. And now my brothers and I are discussing trusts, and I'm sending my dad trust information, right, about private banking and stuff like this, about avoiding probate for our family, right, helping our lineage. But from a spot that if they hadn't had given me the opportunity to experience that, then I wouldn't be half the man I am, half the man. And really what it did was it peaked at graduation, okay? So graduation, 2 days after graduation, I get my little certificate. I'm fucking official, whatever. I made it, I was already working at fucking Chili's at the time. I was waiting tables because I was already 18, so I could be in a place serving alcohol as a senior because I'm already 18, right? Yeah. So I'm already waiting tables. I'm already ready to do other things. I'd long since left my desire to be an architect as well as a soccer player. So those things were just by the wayside, and I just was ready to move out. I was ready to go. I was ready to do something else. Had no fucking clue what, no plans, no nothing. 2 days after graduation, something happened at the house, and it just exploded in a pretty big event that got very physical and very scary. And that was it. So I figured, well, I'm 18. I got my little piece of paper. I ended up upstairs in my room for the last time, loading 2 bags of clothes with as much shit as I could stuff in it, and grabbed my guitar. And I walked out, and that was it, on foot. I didn't have a car. So walked quite a ways and then called the girl that I was dating at the time. She picked me up and I lived with her, worked for her dad in an oil field. And then it just got crazy. I've probably had every job you can imagine, man. Every fucking job. I'm one of the best workers you'll ever work with because of that, because I can adapt to change. And I've seen a lot. I've gotten a lot of opportunities to solve a lot of really interesting challenges in a variety of disciplines. Right. And so from there, though, that was the big catalyst. That's the thing that flipped it off from there. And leaving, the church, leaving home, there was no safe place in my mind. I was completely alone. I had no car, all these things, right? The story. Cue the violins. Yeah. But really, it was the best fucking thing that ever happened, man. Ever.
Oh, it's shaping you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And is there, at this time, did you start playing music more?
Yeah, it's a great question. So this is where music really took center stage, as it were. I was in my 20s. Now, right at the end there, I started experimenting in psychedelics. I had my first acid trip. It was really interesting because it was a bad trip that also included my mom, and going home and like being yelled at on acid, but she didn't know I was on acid, and that was even weirder. Watching my mom's eye pop out of her face and roll down her, and then she stepped on it. When she came toward me, I was just like, man, I can't do this right now, And but psychedelics started becoming a big part of the picture as well. And then I remained a fucking dedicated psychonaut for 15 years or so after that. So in that period, though, it was ecstasy. It was early 2000s. We had a lot of fun. You could pretty much trust the shit. I would be doing candy flipping, as the kids call it. It's where you take ecstasy and acid at the same time. Acid was always heavily dark for me, which it is, right? And so I liked taking something that was fun and gave me energy and made me love life with the dark shit, and blending those two energies together, because I got a much better ride. If I did the straight LSD, I got a real dark ride, and I didn't really care for that. You know what I mean? If I did the MDMA, I loved everybody, and I knew that wasn't authentic. So really the blend of the two, even my early age, I felt was important. So from there, I started reading books. I started writing music, which was big in this time period. So I wrote my first song on cocaine, and it was fucking awesome. I did have my spouts with coke. And that's the thing, too. I've done a lot of fucking drugs. My rule to myself was no needle drugs, and just do the best you can to know where it comes from, right? No needle drugs, I stuck to. I did the things you put in needles, but I just didn't do them in needle form, right? I would smoke or snort them, okay? So I did almost fucking everything, man. If you had it, I was there doing it. If you pulled a mirror off the wall with a shitload of coke, I was there, and I was spelling my name out, and I was glad it had 7 letters instead of fucking Amy's over there. She got gypped. You know what I mean? So I was here for it. But it was a wild time, and your 20s are supposed to be, man. I'm safe, no kids that I know about, no fucking STDs. I've got all my appendages. I had a blast. I have probably a lot more stories than I can remember. Had a motorcycle that I totaled, had like all this crazy shit, moved around, always in Texas, moved to Oklahoma for a weekend and then came back. That was wild. And met a bunch of crazy cool people, ended up writing so much music that I formed and played with several bands in Houston, moved into the more inner city part of it after a while. And that ended up being very interesting to connect with all kinds of folks, man, because I got into the Houston music scene there and was in a 3-guitar like metal band kind of, and we won the Battle of the Bands at the Engine Room and got studio time, and like we were doing shit, writing badass music and doing all kinds of stuff. And then that turned into me doing my own thing with solo acoustic writing, which I really love, the acoustic guitar. This one actually behind me on the wall. That one ended up going to China with me for a month in 2007. I toured over there, just me and that guitar, and that was wild too. So that's a whole nother thing some folks have heard about. Then toured all over the US. And the more I got into the music business, the more of those stories of you hear of people coming at you with contracts that are bullshit. Yes. And so I just wasn't interested in selling my soul. So therefore I figured I'd do it later. And now actually music has come back with a vengeance after putting it down for almost 10 years in between all this. So it's really interesting how things come around. I'm grateful for all the music I wrote and now I'm relearning all of it, which is awesome because I just write. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Was it during this period you met Mary? Was that
a little bit after this? So no, thank God she didn't meet me when I was in my 20s. That wouldn't have worked out, man. Yeah. I wouldn't have been who I needed to be the right guy for her, right? What she deserved.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it?
And I'm still every day working for that.
Timing's got so much to do with it.
Oh, fuck, everything to do with it. And it's fascinating. It's like right on cue, too. It's some kind of force, some kind of whatever. And it's like, no. And what's funny is Mary and I grew up, my wife and I grew up in the same Fort Worth. We grew up in Fort Worth together. We were born at the same hospital 5 years apart. We went to like the same places and did the same things. I moved down to Houston. She moved down to Palestine, which is not too far from Houston, but it's more East Texas. And then moved out, moved around and did stuff. So, and we may have seen each other as children, like at fucking something like Water Gardens in Fort Worth or something like that, you know, and not even known it, man. So it's those kind of weird things that you think about. But yeah, this was absolutely going to happen. Yeah, she's the best thing that ever happened to me. But before her, 20s, moved out, moved around Houston, all over the fucking place. Metal band, then played at in a country band. I taught guitar lessons. I played in a few different bands, and then I also worked at Guitar Center for a while. I was like accessories department manager at the fourth largest store in the nation, and so down there on Westheimer in Houston, which is totally closed now. It's not even around, but it was a big deal then, and met all kinds of fucking cool people there. And then a lot of people that I still know to this day that we became really good friends and musicians. They played on my albums. A guy named Mark Deeney, one of the best guitar players you've never heard of. Sanjay, Dave Dixon. You've got a guy named Ken Munshine. He toured with Stevie Wonder and he played saxophone on both of my records. The dude is like all these phenomenal, musicians. And Mark played with Jeff Beck and all this stuff. He's just Eric Johnson, like all this crazy shit. So these dudes are awesome. And Mark Deeney is one of the reasons I didn't foolishly jump into a contract. He told me about production rights and he sat me down one day and was like, what do you think? How do you think you own your music? I go, copyrights. And I'm going to do that. I've got it. I mailed it to myself. And he goes, okay, well then you own half your music. And I was like, what do you mean? And he told me about publishing rights, what to look out for. And he really saved my ass because I encountered that later and love Mark Deeney. Shout out, man. So look him up if you guys want. Mark, Dini is his name. Dini. He's a jazz player, so it's no vocals really, but just that smooth making love fucking jazz, dude. And I used to go to this place called Sambuca in Houston and hear him and Sanjay and Dave and all these incredible, and Ken and all these just the best drummers and keyboardists and all that shit. They just did this badass jazz music at this club in Houston, and they were all, awesome and still are. Like they still play and shit. So, so Houston was wild. So what got me out of Houston, though, is I lived in apartments down there, real sketch shit, man. Did all sorts of weird shit out there. Same thing, survived, no needle drugs, did great. But definitely did a lot more growth in that environment. From there, though, I was 2 weeks away from my second tour of China. I was booking 2 months this time, and this was 2008, the very next year coming back from the last time. And I got that opportunity from meeting a bass player who I met at Guitar Center. Shout out Jaffer. So the 2 week thing, in that interim, like flights were being bought, tour was booked. I'm getting things from the promoter, all this stuff. And I get a phone call from my grandmother who lived in North Texas at the time, Fort Worth, hometown, and said, hey, something's going on. I'm dizzy all the time. I'm sick and I don't think I can do this anymore. And I didn't know what that meant, but I knew I needed to get there. So I canceled the tour, threw as much shit as I could in my truck, my 2 dogs at the time, and then headed up to North Texas, just bailed on everything down in Houston. Moved up to North Texas to take care of my grandmother. And that's essentially what I did at 25, 24 years old. And ended up, that's a long story, but ended up needing to get power of attorney. When she was in hospital, people started coming out of the woodwork, these family members nobody knew anything about. And so at 25, I'm doing power of attorney for my dying grandmother who now has dementia and Alzheimer's, and nobody else in the family talked to her because they thought she was crazy. And so it was, and I always love grandma. That's Gma. There's a picture of her over here. In fact, there you go. That right there. There's a picture of Gma and me at her nursing home with that guitar because I would go up and play at her nursing home when she ended up there right before the end there. But she ended up passing from Alzheimer's. That then is what rekindled my relationship with my parents. And then things have been wild since then. I moved. So from there, when she passed, I had now a house in grandma's house, right? And so I got a job. I went and did the thing. I stopped music. I put the guitar in the case and all this kind of shit. And then that is where I met Mary, my friend. I got a job in a mall at a place called Journey's Shoe Store. And ironically, the biggest journey of my life, meeting her, started on the right foot at a shoe store by selling her shoes. She still has, by the way. And
oh wow,
yeah, and that's where we met.
No, that's awesome, man.
It's a lot in a little bit.
Was there an instant attraction? Was
Instant.
it?
I still remember the moment, like the moment.
Oh, wow.
And she says the same because I wore like a tie. I've always been a fucking snappy dresser, but I would go to thrift stores and shit and buy like really cool shirts and then ties. You know, I was a big tie guy even in my 20s and shit. I don't know why. This fucking style. I do know why. What am I talking about? And so I had this fucking dope ass tie and my hair all pulled back because I've had long hair since I was 18. I would just grow it out. And then I played a benefit for a firefighter that got burned in a boat explosion. And we went to the hospital, like suited up for him, me and another guy, great guitar player called Matt Burns. He was a songwriter. And he and I went in and we had to suit up, like put on masks and everything just to go play because our skin cells would affect, hair. We didn't want anything getting loose off of us and getting in it. It was fucked up, man. And the fire department didn't cover any of his shit because he was off the clock. So so dude hops into a boat, saves 2 people's lives as it's exploding and on fire. It explodes, torches over 60% of his body. And because he wasn't clocked in on duty officially, his insurance didn't cover it. So he's got kids, dude. And so I know. And so he's got kids. Yeah. So we go up to the hospital, we play for this guy. And so I asked the nurse, I'm like, what else can I do to help? Because I can play my guitar or whatever. She goes, your hair. But she saw I had long hair. She goes, we need hair more than anything because when they get burnt, right, they fucking lose their hair and they can make wigs out of this shit. And I have glorious hair. I do know this. So I would just grow it out and then chop it. And we did this like 4 times. I think I would donate a foot each time. So we would just keep donating long ass hair. So there's little things that I've kind of picked up along the way that have, been stylistic, but they've also been nice and functional and giving back, right? Like the growing out hair and then donating it when you're done with it. So yes, Mary and I think that's where we were. Where were we, Paul? Did I get delayed?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's where we were. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we met and then it was crazy. From then on, it was, I remember the moment. And then actually I lost my phone, didn't talk to her for 6 months. She finally texted me back because I still had the same number, just not the phone. Lost everything, right? She texted me back. I ran out into where I was working and called her immediately. And we have not lost contact ever since. It's awesome, man. Yeah. And that was 16 years ago.
Wow. So
from there, I got a real job. I quit smoking the weed. I stopped playing music. All the guitars went in cases. I got khakis. I went out and hit the workforce. And I worked for a beer distribution company for almost 10 years and worked up from draft technician to driver of the best route, the airport. And I would drive my truck out there again around airplanes, and it was fucking nuts. So did that and then worked up to this awesome position, merchandiser, and then from there to sales. And then, it got to a point where I was making more than my boss, and I was like, what do I do? And they were like, you need to go get a degree, and then we could put you in this corner office. And I was like, fuck all this, man. So I'd already started this show, and I was a year into it. And just a year into only, honestly, less than a year, because I started the show January 28th of 2021, and then quit the job that December. So with no reason to, I had no money coming in or anything. I did what they called the leap of faith. It's just some folks probably would have done it a little later, but I was like, fuck this, and just jumped. And it's been, and then that's where we are. So slowly the cannabis has come back. I've quit drinking. I've stopped all psychedelics. I'm what they call California sober. I've got my caffeine, nicotine, and cannabis, and that's it. Music and doing a lot with the trust community and publishing books, which we'll talk about. I haven't even talked about these on the show, but guys, we've published 2 books. Philip Kinsella and Eric Hollerbach both been on the show a couple times, and we will talk about those. Amazing. But a lot's been going on in the interim. Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. So you mentioned you'd started the podcast when you kicked that job into touch, as it were. So why the podcast?
So what's weird about the whole podcast thing is I didn't even know what podcasts were until 2019. Okay. Mary and I were going to the store. We'd, I think, just moved out here to the ranch, and we were going to the store, and there were these dudes talking on the radio. We took her car, and there were these dudes talking on the radio. I was like, what the fuck is this? I looked at the radio. The radio wasn't on. It was something she was playing on her phone. I was like, what is this? And she goes, it's a podcast. I was like, what the fuck is a podcast? 2019, dude. And I was just like, what the fuck is a podcast? 2018, rather. And so she goes, oh, it's this thing, and these guys talk. So it ended up being that it was the last podcast on the left. Have you ever heard of them? It's a crime.
Oh, I have heard of it.
True crime podcast. They talk about all kinds of shit. Anyway, fell in love with them. Ended up going back through this entire catalog of theirs. We saw them live in Dallas when they came. This is how big I got into podcasts. I immediately knew it was for me, right? And so we did a show. We started a show while I was still at the beer job. It was my boss at the time, who was a hardcore atheist. We had my buddy at the time who I rode with in the truck. He was very Christian and very much still is. And then you had Mary and me, who are what we are. And so we had this whole dynamic. We thought it was going to be fun. It was called the Up and Adam experiment because his name was Adam, right? My buddy. And so we had this whole thing. We did 51 episodes, I think. You won't find any of it. All of it's scrubbed. It was cool and it was fun and it was weird, but it got me into audio. It got me into editing. It got me into all kinds of shit, you know? And so that really cut the teeth. And then from there, that ended with COVID. I said, hey guys, I'd still like to do the show. I'd like to take it in another direction. I want to interview people now. And I had a list of all these people in a notebook from the break that we took and I'd been noting it all along, like, and who was on that list? Philip Kinsella, Philip Mantle, so many. Now I blank, of course. Robbie Graham, all these fucking Mark Ollie, all these fucking people were on that list.
Neil Donald Walsh.
Yes, Neil Donald Walsh was absolutely on that list. I didn't think I was good enough for him, but he was absolutely on that list. All kinds of folks. And then it came to pass that I got to talk to all those people and more. Jordan Maxwell was on that list. A bunch of people. And it's just crazy. That whole thing's crazy as well. So from the break at the, COVID, whatever, then nobody wanted to come back. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'll change the name of the show and then do my own thing and interview people. And that's what I really wanted to do anyway. But I offered everybody can come back. So I ended up forging out on my own December 20, because then I came in here and I like painted the studio. It was pink and I like painted all this and I got treatments and there's soundproofing shit all over the place and really did it right. Got a bunch of cool gear. I built all this furniture, all the furniture and shit you see. I was out there staining and doing all this cool. This is a custom desk. It's got stuff drilled in and like a custom thing for all the rack gear to fit in and all that. It's a very, like, I take this seriously, and I know that it's quality. And so I've presented the best quality I can with all of this. And then that first year, it was just fucking 2 shows a week for an entire year. And so it was just crazy. I was working 60-hour-a-week job, doing 2 shows a week, booking, editing, doing all this shit, getting frustrated when I would spell something wrong on a thumbnail, leave it up all day while I was at work and just stare at the YouTube and think it mattered when 3 people were listening, and, go through all those things. And then, like I said, sort of mellowed it after that. And then really that first year, man. And then after that, I knew this is what I wanted to do. Even though the money wasn't there, I knew this is what I wanted to do. And I knew that I would hate myself if I didn't at least give it the old go. And so that was the only certainty I had. I'd hate myself if I didn't try. So yeah, we spread the wings and jumped. And I heard this great quote that people think, you're going to jump off the cliff and you're just going to fly. No, you jump off the cliff and you build your wings on the way down. That's the way it goes. But it does feel like a fucking fall, and you'll bounce off some rocks and hit some shit on the way down. You won't die. It's one of those, did you die though? And it's like, no, but you'll get it. Just jump. You've got it.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And expanding reality with the name with that. I mean, that's obviously point to the direction you wanted to take the show as well. Was it the expansion of consciousness cleverly disguised as a podcast?
Yeah. I thought that was great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and expanding reality worked well for me. I did think about the name quite a bit. It came with some effort and some thought, because I knew that expand dead, I was like, that's past tense. So what are we living in the past? Are we talking about things that have already happened and we can't look forward to? Expanding makes more sense to me because it's a verb. It's continuous. As you blow up a balloon, it's expanding, meaning it's got more to go. I mean, it turns out this balloon actually did pop, but you ideally have an infinite balloon where you can expand this thing as far as you want. And then the expansion part of it was a big deal. It's not forward, because that's odd direction. Expansion's 360, man. It's all around. It's everything. And we expand into the dark, the light, the left, the right, forward, back, diagonals, all of it. So getting to fill that space as much as possible and see how far we could go with it. And it's been fascinating, man. So yes, the name was very, very important and still is. And another thing, guys, this channel is going to stay up. I'm going to keep this up as long as it will. There's still a ton of value to be had here. Even though I'm not at the position I was and started at, that's the point, is you start somewhere and then you find yourself somewhere else. And now, there's a record of that out there. There's a roadmap of where I went that's public, that's got nothing to do with all the private shit that was also very interesting and involved in that. But the public version of it, from ideas and philosophies and getting to shape things and ask questions and be interested in stuff and then fall out of love with stuff. The more I looked at it, it disenchants, but getting to look at things really closely, it feels wonderful. And so this whole process has been and will always be very special to me. And it's not over. That's the thing, is it's just expanded beyond this capacity,
Yes.
which is great. That was kind of the goal, but I didn't know that. Weird.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You don't have to, you don't, what is it, that Lao Tzu quote, something about a true traveler. I won't even bother trying to paraphrase it, but you don't necessarily need to know your destination, do you? It's just
Just go, just
like you
that
say, it's
star,
just the
man.
doing.
And it was Amy Belair that said, just follow your star. And I thought that was so cool. And there was like two people that were they pinged it like that. And they just said, just follow your star. I think Neil Donald Walsh also gave me that advice off air. I said, do you have any advice and whatever? And he was so sweet and so fucking kind that this dude just looked at me and he said, just follow your star. And I mean, that's really the best that you can say, right? Don't hang in there. Don't any of that shit. Just follow your star. No matter what you're walking through, if you're in mud, going over a mountain, going through bullshit, getting cut up by shit, tangled up in something, hanging upside down, you keep a view of that star. Like, just keep going. That's the important thing. And that's what'll do it. Sometimes move out of spite. I moved out of spite plenty. Spite is a wonderful motivator.
As any sometimes.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the only one. Yeah. And it's interesting when it gets to that point too. All of it's mindfuck, man. And if you're willing to just keep going, it'll offer you the expansion you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. You've just got to be open to it. Or sometimes that openness is thrust upon you. But yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you're just like given the opportunity to be open for it. You're just like, and you're open for it now. You're like, I don't think I want this. You're open for it. Take it.
Yeah, 100% kicking and screaming. You're right. The wings grow on the way. And that obviously then led you've started the publishing house, haven't you? Digital publishing.
Yes, yes.
Where did that crossover?
Oh, man, that was because Pam Nance wanted to publish a book. And Philip Mantle of Flying Disc Press, who I've worked with from the beginning of the show, he also, fun fact about him, the intro song of the show, Yes, I Made That Thing, there's 2 times that it says Expanding Reality. The first one is Philip Mantle of Flying Disc Press. He did that on the 4th episode ever released on this channel. And so his voice has been in as many episodes as mine has. So Philip Mantle of Flying Disc Press, I went to and told him, hey, I've got a friend, Pam Nance. She's got a book. She's ready to get published. He said, mate, I'm swamped. I'm too busy for that. I can't do it. And then she was just left with this manuscript, which is fine. It was perfect. And I said, well, shit, what is it to publish something? And I started researching what that meant, learned what ISBNs were and what that meant. Amazon, is that the only thing? Oh, no. Oh, okay. Well, if we do this, and maybe I can help you out. So I founded a publishing house in 2023 called Rediginal Publishing in here. There's our logo there. It means all words are made up. So I figured I'd give it a go. It's ridiculously original. And that's what Rediginal is. And this is our publishing house. And in that time, we have published several things, actually. We have a bunch of journals that, hang on one second. Yeah, so we've got a bunch of journals and things like this. These are all on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. There's 10 total. All of them are different. So there's a few for artists, a few for writers, and a few for everyday journalers who are looking to expand in a formatted type of a setup. They all have different colors and nodes on the side, and then all have different things that they do and function as. This one in particular, I am using this one, so let me get to a page I'm not using. These I drew as well. So the architecture background came in handy. I built myself my own architecture table back there, and I do use the square and hand do all of this kind of stuff on a parallel bar. And
they are awesome.
Oh, they're fun, I just boring notebook paper, right? And so this way you can write date and time and all that stuff. And even for stuff like this, I made my own notepad. And so I bind these with leather, and I just make these at the house. These are not for sale. I make this for stuff like this, and these are the notepads I use around the house, with awesome. The cardstock and the leather and all this kind of stuff. So, yes, the publishing house has been very, very cool. We have the journals in print, which those I hand designed and did, which I'm very proud of those. And from there, it's spanned out to publishing other people's books, or as my mom would affectionately call them, real books. Okay. Yeah, it's funny. I've got 10 books in publish, and she's like, when are you going to publish real books? And I'm like, oh, I love you. So one of them, we will selfishly plug now, the Eternal Avatar. Philip Kinsella and Chris John Mays does some incredibly cool stuff at the beginning of each chapter in here. And then also the forward is by Josh Cutchin. Or the best forward in any book you've ever read right here is in this book right here. My wife and I both agree on that. Even we happened to publish it is the only thing. The other thing with this is want to shout out the cover design on this. This is Curtis Sopel. He is out of Canada. He's up there next to you, Asher. So a couple of what are they putting in the water out there? These artists. I think it's in the cannabis, which is beautiful. So he did this awesome work, which ended up being a full image across the entire back there. So you could see how it swirls in one way, swirls in the other, out the other rather. And then he's got all these really cool characters on the back. Let me get some reflection out, get the camera to focus. He's got the dog man there. He's got the little alien. He's got the freaking UFO. Look at that damn thing. And, we're grateful for this. Just a really, really great work. And that one is available Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And then we also have Girls in the Demon's Deal. And this is a comedy memoir. Absolutely hilarious. You will cry. You will laugh your ass off. You will cry your eyes out. I can guarantee that. Mary and I, he came up and would read for us from Austin. And he would turn around and we would be either crying our eyes out or laughing our asses off. We would have to get him to stop.
That's a good combo.
Oh God, he is just, it's so great, guys. So Girls in the Demon's Deal. And then again, you might recognize the artwork. Curtis did this one as well. We allow our authors, we just give them we've got a bunch of great artists that we work with, and both of them picked the same artist for their covers. And they could not have picked a better artist. Just the perspective, everything about it. And it's just so fucking cool. It's gnarly. Let's see if it'll focus. But okay, so these are available, awesome. And I'll link them down below, guys, so y'all can get direct links to those and check those out. Support those amazing authors; they really are cool.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Mary,
and I can also attest to how awesome those journals are. I've got some and I use them, and they're absolutely amazing. I love them.
I love it. You sent pictures of Hunter holding one the other day. Yeah, the one that Elsa Dillon's daughter did, Gigi. Yeah, she did the covers, and that's the other cool thing. We have a bunch of artists that have joined us that have done cover art for this. This is Ashley Rose. She's incredible. She did the IE, the introspective expansion series. There's 3 books in this series, 3 different birds that she offered. And she painted originals for this. Like, she wouldn't let me use something she already had. She was like, let me paint you an original. And she painted them in like 3 different colors each. I'm like, God, girl, it just mind blowing, really, really cool.
Amazing. That's awesome. And obviously that's still a growing part of the whole.
Yeah. It's 100%. Growing for sure. Yeah. We've got some exciting projects coming out next year. We're actually got a few folks working with us, which having folks help us with that is the way that we can publish more. It's a lot to format and edit, and it's months, when you type the end on your paper for your book, that's when the work starts. And these authors know this. And even working with a seasoned author like Philip, it was still a 6-month turnaround from manuscript to publish. So it's a long process to get everything right, to get the covers, to get all of that. And so if anybody's interested in joining us for the Rediginal crusade here, then let me know. Email me down below at rediginalpublishing@gmail.com. And it's RIDIGINAL publishing at gmail.com.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah. Come help us, because we got a lot of cool shit going on with it.
Yeah. So we've kind of alluded to it, but obviously the expanding reality is it's drawing to a close. You felt like, did you get a feeling that it had kind of fulfilled its mission and wanted to find another vehicle, or you were just open to whatever the universe threw at you to see what would happen? There was a bit of an itch or whatever that you wanted to do something else, or
it was for almost 5 years, man, of doing my best to envision a goal with this thing, but seeing it now as I do, that was never the end game that was going to happen, just what I needed to think would happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of like, you think you're going to this one place, but then you get there and it's a mental institution and they're trying to get you committed. Remember? You think you're going for ice cream, but it's a mental institution instead.
Life is a bit like that.
A bit, yeah. Yes, it is. Here, ask me one more time, man. I glitched. I'm actually texting Mary to let Yokai out so that she can stop losing her shit.
So just whether you had a feeling that the the show had fulfilled its
Oh,
mission,
thank
and
you.
it was
Yeah.
time to do something else. Yeah.
Yes. So I get to this, and thank you for the rain fart moment here. She's losing. I think she has to pee or something. Hi, girl. Are you okay? Here, you want to say hi to everybody? Mom's coming. Okay. Yes. So it ended up being one of these things to where I just got. I had a lot of expectations, and it wasn't meeting those expectations. Mostly just ability to live, right? So I just looked at self in mirror and said, okay, dude, you know, I've had a couple little like jobs here and there and little things that I've done to sort of supplement income and keep things going and all that kind of stuff. And it's just not been enough. And the word enough has been the thing. And for a guy, if you're not making enough or it's not enough, you're not enough. Right. And so this whole thing really kind of held my hand through what then now I know as my dark night of the soul, or this midlife crisis thing, or this midlife transit thing in astrology. And it actually got Mary huge into astrology, and she does great. She's got her own channel, Esoteric Astromancy, on Instagram. She's doing readings. She's doing wonderful. And this whole time period helped her with that. But for me, it was very fucking dark, and which it meant for her, it was really fucking dark. And it was just a deep, fucked up place to be in for what felt like too long, man. It was about 3.5 years. And now coming out of that, what came out of that was this new resolve in me, which I'm grateful for. Like, if it had never have happened, again, wouldn't be ready for the opportunity that I've got now, wouldn't be ready for the next step, and definitely wouldn't be as happy as I am. Going through that was the shittiest thing I've ever experienced. It was very tough, very tough. But on the other side of it, there's a new me that all the other things that got burned off, having survived it, it's a much better, stronger, more grounded place. Much more confident moving into this next thing, because again, it's huge. And again, we're going to tell you guys. And if you've already skipped to the end, no spoilers. So the thing with this particular is I just ran out of steam with it. I've got burned out and threw more coal on the fire more times than I know how to count for this. Given it more angles of attack than I thought. But again, the result wasn't that. This was the dojo. This was me learning the skill set, gaining my 10,000 hours, figuring out graphic design and audio and bit rates and fucking, guests and interactions and listening, right? How to listen well, all those kind of things. And so that's what Expanding Reality was for. And when I fell out of love with it, I just fell out of love with it, guys. That's it. It'd been a toxic relationship for a while, because that's the thing that got me through this really dark time. So a lot of that is associated also with this dark shit. And it's interesting when you go through a full purge, the last thing I thought I would do was get rid of the show, right? It was no, well, I mean, no matter what, Mary will be there and Expanding Reality will be there, right? I'm going to keep this thing going because that's my thing, and I'm going to do this. And from there, it ended up being that was the thing I was clinging to was the thing I was sinking, right? That was making me sink. And so I just stopped in July, right around our 11-year anniversary, and I just said, I'm done with it. And so I had already recorded episodes. I canceled everything that I had on the docket, canceled all guest appearances that I had coming up, and quit the show officially, right? Quietly. I got a job at a nursery in Weatherford, Texas, for the last 3 months, and it's been just moving rock with a huge skid steer, like a huge bucket. I've sent you videos, Paul, for your son, your bogan ass.
It's amazing, man.
How old is he? 4?
Yes, Hunter's 4, and you send him like clips of you doing and he absolutely loves them. He's a 4-year-old, loves all things mechanical, gardening, machine, everything. And those are you send him is absolutely, it's so sweet. He loves them to bits. He's so grateful. But no, they're amazing. You just doing shit during the day. It's great.
Yeah, that was just the job. A lot of guys will go pay money to move things like that, break rock or to move heavy rock from one place to another, operating machinery like that, and they gave me cash for it instead, right? And so and for the all other audiences other than Australian, a bogan is basically like a redneck or a simple rural worker, right? A blue collar worker that just respects work, simple life. So your bogan son, as we call him affectionately, loves all things like lawn care at 4 years old, which is great. He's got his high vis vest. He's got his little whippersnipper, is what they call weed eaters.
Yeah, it's got all the tools, and he watches it on YouTube, so he loves it. Yeah,
Exactly. And
he's gonna do
so
that.
I got the opportunity to make some little YouTube videos for this one kid in Australia with this huge skid steer, and it was a blast, man. Honestly, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was so
So
good. He loved them.
oh fuck yeah. Well, so yes, did that and then really committed to it. So this is honestly the best advice I can give anybody out there, is whenever you get to a point with something, realize it and put it down. That's what I did here. I really did it, guys. It wasn't like I'm going to put this down and then maybe I'll feel like that. I really committed to the exercise. I quit it completely, got a full-time job at this garden center and just said, this is my life now. And a few months into that, got tapped on the shoulder with the opportunity that we have now, which is absolutely awesome. And so it's been a fucking ride. In the meantime, even in the gardening center. So I'm working there. I'm watering plants. I'm operating stuff. I had earbuds in the whole time. And whenever I was working, I had the trust community videos pulled up. I'm listening to how to make bonds, how to form PMAs, and going over all the trust replay stuff, going over Joe's Rumble on speed and a half, as fast as, getting through as fast as I can comprehend all of this information. And then in that time, I was able to build this incredible foundation. I've had a goal of getting one trust done before the end of the year. And I was able to get that trust done before my birth anniversary, right? Hitting level 43. And so have been able to make big moves and big process changes due to my incredible study group that I've gotten. It's way more than a study group, honestly. It's just this trinity of badassness. And it's me, Tam, and Sammy. And so thank you so much, Tam and Sam. They are just these angels that came in and are helping with all these very complex processes. And we are helping each other. No, put your comma there. No, spell it this way. No, it's capital letter, not lowercase. Like all these tiny details of all these very elaborate government forms. And we are freeing ourselves one key at a time. We're showing each other the keys and which locks to put them in and where they go and how to turn them and all that stuff. And it's been fantastic. And then in that period, I was so focused on not doing broadcasting, not doing the show anymore, doing trust, building my PMA, getting my 508c1a set up, like all these things, right? Real adult fucking shit. As I'm watering plants and listening to all this stuff, that's where my focus was. And then a broadcast, an opportunity tapped me on the shoulder, and that was it. And then I ended up taking it up because I'm not bitter. I'm past the bitterness of the darkness, right? Had I have still been bitter, I probably would have told the opportunity to fuck off and then missed probably the coolest fucking thing the next chapter.
How did the opportunity show up to you?
Yeah, so Joe Hodgson, which is going to join us here in a little bit for the afterthoughts. So thank you guys for doing this and sticking around. We're going to talk much more about this in the afterthought. So thanks for joining us and all of that. Yeah. And we'll probably just put this out as one long episode. We'll probably just take a piss and put it out as one big ass episode or two parters, because there's no reason to, do the afterthought. And that's the other thing, guys. If you're contributing on afterthought, I appreciate you. I feel that inevitably all those episodes are going to be released for free. So if you would still like to support, I'm going to keep that open. Okay. Now, I'm not saying I'm not open to receive, but what I am saying is I don't want to mislead anyone into thinking that I'm going to continue to add content to that page. I'm just not. We're going to be adding content to another incredible thing that we're tai chiing to, but we're not going to give this up. So inevitably, like I said, all the afterthoughts and things will be free. So I'll just go ahead and say that this one will just be put out along with the episode. And thank you all for your support. So Joe Hodgson of Legit Bat tapped me on the shoulder and was like, hey, man, we have this really cool opportunity. And I think that we should do it together. And I was like, okay. And you know what? Let's pause it there. And we're going to take our break here in a little bit. We're going to talk about something else and then take our break. And then Joe will come in and then he and I together will tell you about this. Is that fair?
Fantastic.
All right, awesome. So, and that's not to bait you guys. The episode's going to be free. So it's not like I'm like, oh, and you can only hear it if you sign up, motherfuckers. No, nothing like that. But we're going to split it here because we're at about the time Joe is going to call in anyway. So I'm going to let him know that we're getting close. But Paul, I would like for you, if you don't mind, sir, to ask any more questions that you have, and then also to tell the folks how we know each other, if you don't mind, sir.
You know what? You actually, I did have some questions in mind, but you've actually answered them anyway. So
I know, and it's rambling, and we were jumping around on the timeline, and that's the fast version, guys. There's so much that's happened in between all that.
Yeah, I think you did very,
kind
very
of the highlights.
well.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, Paul. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity, man. It's absolutely awesome. How you and I met was I, as you know, lost my son to suicide just over 3 years ago, and I was an avid podcast listener, and I'd come across you on it was either Forbidden Knowledge or Union of the Unwanted or Tinfoil. I'd heard you on several podcasts. Came and found Expanding Reality, and I was listening to you one day, and obviously, as you can imagine, it's just been. I can't really put into words just how devastating something like that is. But I just flicked you a message whilst I was working to ask you if you knew any mediums you could put me in contact with, because I think the subject had obviously come up on something I was listening to, and you almost instantly flicked me a message back, and you said why, and I told you briefly, and you were like, let's talk, and so we arranged a call and spoke not long afterwards. You put me in contact with Rachel Horton White, which was fantastic. And you and I have been like very good friends ever since. We've spoken regularly ever since, and you've helped me through undoubtedly the darkest period of my life. It's taken me 3 years before I can do anything other than just survive and keep my head above water to actually start coming out of and having a different relationship with this experience. But it's been rough, and you've been with me the whole way. So thank you for that. I love you, brother. I really appreciate that. It's because it wasn't pretty. I've been through some shocking, it's been awful. But I'm not meaning about but it's just been life-alteringly devastating. But fortunately, having good friends, and the flip side of that is Seb died just before my other son. Seb was 23. He died just before my other son's 23rd. Seb was 23, and he died just before Hunter's first birthday. So a bit of a gap, but Hunter's been a light that has been a light to the darkness in my life, and probably I wouldn't like to say how things would have gone if I didn't have that little light in my life. You know what I mean? Because once for the most part, Seb lived with me. I think he was 11 when he moved in, so it was just the two of us. And as a single parent, so we were best friends once he got older. So when that tragedy struck, it was just beyond anything I can describe. But as I say, thank you for your constant support throughout this, which, as I say, it's never something you get over. So I can't even find the words, but certainly I'm in a position now where my relationship has changed, where I can actually function and pull my head up, do you know what I mean, rather than just surviving. So thanks for that, brother.
You've done great. I mean, obviously I wish we met under different circumstances, but you reached out, you touched a brother's heart, and I had to write back, and it was just easy. We were quick friends, man. Like, good to see you again. Not nice to meet you, kind of thing. And it was instant, and man, it's been an honor. I know it's been tough, as a silly fucking thing for me to say. It has been what it has been, and it's been an honor to be your friend this entire time, and only strengthened it, honestly. And it's been beautiful to watch your little bogan ass son grow up too, because he just melts Mary and I. Oh my God. The other night, guys, he grabs the phone and takes off with it. And we just hear these bare feet and him just dying laughing. And then Paul yelling in the background, running after him. And I think he hit himself in a bathroom. We were all dying laughing. Mary and I are crying laughing. My stomach was hurting so hard. And when he answers, because he's got this half British, half Australian accent, And when he answers, he's like, "Hi, dude." I can't even do it right, but oh my God, it melts. I just melt every time. Mary's face, she's like, "Oh my God." You have the most beautiful child. He's this little beautiful, brilliant Leo. And just awesome. Just you guys are a gift to us, man. And we talk
Thank you, man.
since 3 years ago we've talked pretty much, and because I was going through some dark shit too, and it's been pretty much at least monthly that we have spoken, and then now here lately it's been every week or other week or so, and it's just a beautiful friendship. I'm just really grateful for you beyond words, man. And that's why this is so special for you to do this with us.
And thank you for giving me this honor, because to be given the honor to not only be on your podcast, but be given the honor of interviewing you on your final podcast, because I don't really have an interesting angle otherwise. You know what I mean? So no, it's touch, brother. Yeah, so much love.
So much love. Oh my God. And I'm just going to point out here, speaking of love, Asher, what the fuck, man? This is so cool. I glance down and I see what I'm going to guess is me. But I've never had anyone do a caricature of me, by the way. So I'm a little like, I don't know. It's like an uncanny valley, but so flattered. Like, it's weird. Do you know what I mean? Paul, do you know what I mean? Has anyone ever done a caricature of you or drawn an image of you or a picture of you?
No, they usually just send me a picture of a gorilla and say,
look at that. Oh my God. Remain unstoppable. Guys, video version. Check it out. Asher's email is going to be linked. Wow. He's going to be hard to get a hold of, but I'm going to link it.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. See how the words form into it? Dude, that's fucking incredible. I'm blown away. Blown away.
That's amazing, bro.
And we're going to talk to Asher in the afterthought, guys, which is going to be free. So just stick around. We're just going to do 2 versions of this just so it's not a long ass fucking file. And then Joe will be in here in a little bit. So what do you think, boys? You wanted to do, let's see, one more question, and then we'll take a little break, and we'll get Joe in here, and we will continue this because we've got more to talk about.
Fantastic, man.
But it's been a fucking honor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything you do differently?
I'd like to say yes, but honestly, no. I mean, because in hindsight, right, you'd fuck it up. If you were time traveling and you go, oh, man, I'll go back and I'll spare myself from that. But if you spare yourself from the wisdom of the aftermath. And this is fuck around and find out. And like I said, we're going to get deep into the philosophy of where this has all brought me, because I feel it's very important to share. And this is just the beginning, guys. So don't think that I'm done or I'm out or whatever. It's expanding reality is going to stick around. I'm going to move to something else and expand into something larger. And all of you are coming with us. Okay. So don't think this is like an exclusive. Oh, well, fuck off. This has been real. See you, bitches. No, come with us. And that's the invite that Joe and I have for you at the after the break here. But no, I again, it's got to happen that way. It's got to be catalyst, observer creation. Catalyst, observer, creation. You know, what comes out of the experience is the true alchemy. This is the lead to gold. You know, the lead's the shit that weighs you down. The gold is the gift that you get whenever you're able to see it for the gift and why being weighed down or why that experience was so valuable. There's always value in it. There's no such thing as the wrong thing. And it's all perfect. So it makes sense in every regard. And no, I couldn't change anything because that would fuck it up. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been dark, dude. It's been fucking dark. Through the show's history, at least 14 people that I've known and most that have been on the show are no longer with us, man. And that's not including Seb, dude. So it's been fucking weird, dude. In almost 5 years, not even 5 years, a little less than 5 years. It's been 14 people that have lost us that I've gotten very close with on the show. Some due to their own hand taking them out. Some are just fucking old, man, and it was time. Some just the most shitty circumstances, and they had a lot of life left, I felt. And it's been fucking weird. It's been weird to get so close to so many people and get so excited about future and talk about future, and then get the news that they're done, you know, and that they decided that this was enough. It's been weird. And the Jordan Maxwell thing, man, we are his last public appearance. Brian said that, you know, I mean, he passed 1 month to the day from when we recorded the episode on the show. It's going to stay up, guys. You know what I mean? There's so much value back there, and so many folks whose stories are there and whose books are still linked and who's are still doing their podcasts and got documentaries out and all those kind of things. So I do encourage anybody who's just either finding the show now, thank you, and it's been a fucking ride. So go back and go, who the fuck is this guy? And check it out. It's been a ride, and will continue to be. And so that's the thing, guys. I don't feel that this is an ending. This is simply walking through a new door, but this is a portal, man. This isn't some normal 3D door. This is a big deal. And again, we've been teasing it the whole time. So we'll just take a break here and get to our afterthought here in just a little bit. Just want to remind everybody listening and watching out there that these two amazing men can be found down in the show description, as well as the two books that we have published here, Girls in the Demon's Deal by Eric Hollerbach, hilarious comedian out of Austin. He does the Klaus Schwab Jr. character. He was on Glenn Beck. He's fucking brilliant. And then Eternal Avatar by Philip Kinsella, Chris John Mays, with the forward by Josh Cutchin, old beautiful friend there. Just talked to him the other day. He's doing great. So just thank you guys again for listening, for watching, for subscribing, for all the things. I want to thank Asher for this incredible piece of art, and there's more to talk about with that. So you guys stay tuned and check out the link down there to check out more of his work, because he's just awesome in general. Y'all know him because I keep bringing texts up. I will stop the show with a guest, pull out my phone, break my own rule to get a text from Asher that I've gotten in one of our many message threads. He's just been this mystical pen pal for me over the past at least 4 years. We met first year of the show. So it's just been this incredible honor to know you guys. And again, we're not done here. We're just going to cap this off, and then all the new shit begins. So Paul Clifford, thank you again. Asher, my man. Guys, let's get to this afterthought. Take a little bit of a breaky poo, take a piss, grab a joint, and then get ready for the next thing. So thank you guys again for watching, listening, subscribing, all the things. And we will see you in this afterthought. And also, guys, bottom of my heart, thank you for listening this whole damn time. It's been a fucking ride. I look forward to seeing you all the next time.